Okay, so this video is going to be taking a look at this motor driver chip here. If you hover over the pins, you can sort of see what each of the pins do. If you search on the internet, you can come up with a sort of a diagram. So this is a sample wire diagram that you might get from a data sheet, and then this is just the pins labeling. So if you look at back at Tinkercad, you can see that this is pin number 1 and it's labeled with a dot, and it's going to be an enable pin. On the other side we have basically pin 16 and it's going to be a power one, and the opposite over here is going to be power 2. So one could be logic and one could actually be the power supply that's driving the chip if you wanted to have them separate. I have them hooked together. If you look at these center 4 pins, they're all tied together. If you go back to your drawing, you can see that they're all labeled as grounds. You can see that there's a dot here indicating that there's a join between those, and they're all tied to 0 volts, which is ground. If you hover over the pins, it'll also tell you what you're doing. Okay, and then they all go back to the negative side of the battery. There is a connection between these. I don't know if it's actually the back or if it's internally. It doesn't matter because it works. What else we got? These switches. So these switches go from power and then they run to the input terminal. So what's going to happen is that in the normal state they're going to be 0 volts, and when you press the button they're actually going to go to 5 volts because they're connected that way. And in previous examples we used opposite pins for the switches, but if you kind of look at these metal parts, they go through the switch, so we could actually use this pin or that pin. It's just kind of an easy thing to use the opposite pins. When I hit simulate, you're going to see what happens. This button will take this pin from 0 to 5 volts, and that'll cause it to go in a positive direction, as well as this little LED is going to light up. When I switch it the other way, this pin's going to go high and it's going to cause the voltage to go through the circuit the opposite way, and you're going to light up the green LED. What I've done here is I've taken, if I click on this one, it's got your cathode, and then if you click on this one it should be the anode, but it's actually showing up. But they're actually reversed, so you can sort of see the bend in the wire and bend in the wire. If I was to show you how to do that, you just grab an LED, and you can sort of see that this is the cathode, this is the anode. You could grab a second LED and you just hit R on your keyboard and you make it go upside down. So this would be the cathode, this would be the anode. You change this to a different color. I have it green. And so then when you join them together, it's going to act like this same setup here. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. You don't need to put the LEDs in. I've put in a 1K resistor or a 200 ohm resistor, and that is just so that it doesn't burn the LEDs out. I think that's, if I press the button down here, I guess I got to do the simulate. It goes in the opposite direction and this one goes in the forward direction. So your goal is to duplicate this setup. You can choose to put the LEDs in or not. Notice the polarity on the battery is important. It's basically another way of dealing with getting a motor to change directions. The benefit of this is that this chip will handle 2 motors, and all we have to do is supply it with 4 tack switches, and we don't even need the LEDs. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I'll leave this picture up if that helps you, and you can do a screenshot of that picture just so that it helps you do your wiring or thinking about how things are going in this particular assignment. Anyways, good luck and have fun.